Dear students, good morning. In the previous class, we have discussed about the chapter number 9 about the trading company, the East India Company and the Carnatic Wars, first Carnatic, second Carnatic, third Carnatic Wars. Today we are going to discuss about the conquest of Bengal, how the British conquest the Bengal province. The Bengal province means now modern days West Bengal and East Bengal. East Bengal, now the modern day Bangladesh. That was the Bengal province at that time. Please hear. The British wanted the control of a rich province of Bengal. Ali Khan, the Nawab of Bengal, was an able administrator. The British wanted to control the rich province of Bengal. At that time, Ali Khan, the Nawab of Bengal, and he was an able administrator. He had followed a policy of keeping the European merchants under control. But after his death, his grandson Sirajuddaulah became the Nawab. He followed a policy of keeping the European merchants, European traders under his control. But after his death, his grandson Sirajuddaulah became the Nawab. The British started extending the fortification of Calcutta, now Kolkata. Meanwhile, Sirajuddaulah troops took over Calcutta. Robert Clive, the British military general, set out from Madras. Robert Clive, who came from Madras with an army of 900 European soldiers or sepoys and 1200 sepoys armed and trained in the European style of warfare and recaptured Calcutta. Robert Clive, who came from Madras with 900 European and 1200 sepoys armed and trained in the European style of warfare and recaptured Calcutta. Then Battle of Plassey. 1757. Battle of Plassey fought between the forces of East India Company under Robert Clive and the army of Sirajuddaulah at Plassey between Calcutta and Murshidabad. Plassey is one of the places between Calcutta and Murshidabad. A battle also fought between the army, between the British East India Company under Robert Clive and the army of Sirajuddaulah. Sirajuddaulah, the Nawab of Bengal and the grandson of Ali Khan. Mirzapur, who wanted to become the Nawab, bribed Indian soldiers to throw away their weapons. Clive easily won the battle. Mirzapur, who was also a general of Sirajuddaulah, he bribed the Indian soldiers, the Nawab's soldiers, to throw away their weapons, and very easily Clive won the battle. The British consolidated their position in Bengal. After winning the battle in Plassey, the British consolidated their position in Bengal by making Mirzapur the Nawab of Bengal. He gifted large sum of money and 24 parganas of Bengal to the British. Mirzapur, who became the Nawab of Bengal after the defeat of Sirajuddaulah in the Battle of Plassey, he gifted large sum of money and 24 parganas of Bengal to British. But Mirzapur could not fulfill the constant demand of the British because the British always demanded more and more. For that cause, Mirzapur could not fulfill the constant demands of the British, so they installed his son-in-law Mir Qasim as the Nawab. Whenever Mirzapur could not fulfill the constant demand, then the Britishers threw away from the throne of a Nawabship and installed his son-in-law Mir Qasim as the Nawab of Bengal. He granted equal trade facilities to the British and the Indian merchants. Mir Qasim granted the equal trade facilities to British merchants as well as the Indian merchants. This annoyed the British and they attacked him. And this step to give the equal trading facility to the Indian merchants and the British merchants also giving anger to the British. Mir Qasim, and for that cause the British also attacked Mir Qasim. Mir Qasim took refuge at Awadh with Sujauddullah, where Mughal Emperor Shah Alam was also taking refuge. When the British attacked Mir Qasim, then he ran away and took refuge at Awadh with Sujauddullah, where Mughal Emperor Shah Alam was also taking refuge. Means there the Mir Qasim, Sujauddullah and also Shah Alam in Awadh. Then Battle of Buxar, 1764. The Battle of Buxar was very important in the history of India. It is a very important battle because three Nawabs also defeated by the hand of a British East India Company. The East India Company's victory in this battle established British colonial rule in Bengal Presidency and subsequent expansion of British control all over India. In this battle, in the Battle of Buxar, the East India Company's victory means the East India Company also win in this battle, and the East India Company's victory established British colonial rule in Bengal Presidency and subsequent expansion of British control all over India. Mir Qasim, the Nawab of Bengal, refused to be a puppet in the hands of British. He wanted complete control of Bengal. Mir Qasim, the Nawab of Bengal, he refused to be a puppet in the hands of British. He wanted complete control of Bengal. He wanted to check the growing power of the officials of the East India Company. It resulted in a conflict and led to the Battle of Buxar. And the battle was fought between the British East India Company led by Major Hector Munro and the armies of three kings, meaning Mir Qasim, Shah Alam II and Sujauddullah. Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II, who was taking refuge in Sujauddullah, Awadh, Sujauddullah the Nawab of Awadh. There, Mir Qasim, Shah Alam II and Sujauddullah, the three kings fought against the British East India Company, and the British East India Company win in this battle. That's why it was also an important battle. The battle was beneficial for the expansion of the power of the East India Company. It gained rule and the Diwani, the right to collect the revenue from Bengal. The Battle of Buxar was also beneficial for the expansion of power of East India Company. Means after the Battle of Buxar, the British East India Company expanded its territories, and it gained the control of the right to Diwani, right to collect of revenue from the Bengal province, which included Bihar and Orissa at that time. Bengal province means at that time Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, and the East Bengal, that is Bangladesh also. Dual government in Bengal. Right to collect Diwani by the British began a dual government in Bengal. Dual government means two government. Right to collect revenue in Bengal started the two governments. The Nawab looked after the administration and the company controlled the army, the judiciary and the revenue collection. Means main department, the army, judiciary and the revenue department remained in the hand of the British East India Company, and only to look after the administration keep in the hand of a Nawab. This is the dual government. This arrangement gave immense power to the British without any responsibility. This arrangement gave much more power to the British without any responsibility. But the general public suffered, means the people also suffered. Thousands of people died in the Bengal famine in 1770. In 1770, a great famine also occurred. Famine means occurred in Bengal province. Thousands of people also died because the Nawab has not do anything, and he has no money to help the people, because the revenue department in the hand of a British East India Company. But the company did not help the victims, and the Nawab did not have the resources. In 1772, Warren Hastings, governor of Bengal, abolished the dual government and gained the complete control over Bengal. The dual governments continued up to 1772. In 1772, Warren Hastings became the Governor General, and he totally abolished the dual government and gained complete control over Bengal. The British passed the Regulating Act of 1773, regulate the activities of the East India Company. The British passed the Regulating Act of 1773 to regulate the activities of East India Company, meaning how the East India Company work, and the Regulating Act. But the corruption of the company official continued. Therefore, in 1784, Pitt's India Act was passed. It set up a board of control to remove the shortcomings of the Regulating Act of 1773. Pitt's India Act passed in 1784, and it is set up a board of control to remove the shortcomings or the lacunas of the Regulating Act of 1773. Then we will discuss the Anglo Mysore Wars. After the death of Raja of Mysore, Karnataka, Mysore, after the death of Raja of Mysore of Udaiyar dynasty in 1760, Hyder Ali became the ruler of Mysore. Hyder Ali became the ruler of Mysore in 1770. He extended his territories over Bednor, Sundra, Sera, Kanara and Gutti, and also subjugated some parts of South India. Hyder Ali extended his territories in different parts like Bednor, Sundra, Sera, Kanara and Gutti, and subjugated means captured some parts of South India. At this time, Warren Hastings faced stiff resistance from the Marathas in the north and Hyder Ali in Mysore. Warren Hastings, the Governor General in 1772, he faced the stiff resistance, Birod, from the Marathas in Maharashtra and north Marathas in the north and the Hyder Ali in the Mysore. First Anglo Mysore War 1767 to 69. Hyder Ali gained some success even against the British and almost captured Madras. Hyder Ali from the beginning gained some success and also captured Madras. In 1767, the Nizam, means the king, Nizam, the Marathas and the English made a triple alliance against Hyder Ali of Mysore as they were jealous of his increasing power. In 1767, due to the growing power of Hyder Ali, a triple alliance also formed between the Nizam of Hyderabad, the Marathas of Maharashtra and the English, means British. A triple alliance also formed against Hyder Ali because they are jealous of increasing power of Hyder Ali. But Hyder Ali beat the English at their own game by making peace with the Marathas and the Nizam with territorial gains. And the Britishers became foolish by the plan of Hyder Ali, because Hyder Ali making peace with the Marathas and the Nizam by giving some territories against the British. He attacked Arcot. Hyder Ali attacked Arcot. The British were shocked as they incurred heavy losses. They had to sign a treaty of peace and mutual help with Hyder Ali. Hyder Ali attacked Arcot and the British were also shocked as they were incurred heavy losses. The British were also defeated and they also suffered a heavy loss also, and for that cause they also signed a peace and mutual peace treaty with Hyder Ali. Second Anglo Mysore War 1780 to 84. In 1780, the English wanted to attack the French at Mahe. In 1780, the British East India Company, they wanted to attack the French at Mahe. French means the French East India Company, situated on the west coast of Mysore. Mahe, the place situated near the west coast of Mysore, the English wanted to attack Mahe. Hyder Ali did not permit it. Hyder Ali did not give him the permission. Therefore, the English declared war against Hyder Ali and his alliances with the Nizam and the Marathas. Then the British also declared the war against Hyder Ali and his alliance with the Nizam and Marathas. Hyder Ali captured Arcot by defeating the English army. Hyder Ali captured Arcot by defeating the English army. The British broke the alliance. In spite of that, Hyder Ali gave a crushing defeat to the British. In spite of that, Hyder Ali gave a crushing defeat to the British. Hyder Ali died, but his son Tipu Sultan to fight against the British. Hyder Ali also died, but his son Tipu Sultan continued to fight against the British. The battle concluded after the Treaty of Mangalore in 1784. A treaty also signed between the British and the Tipu Sultan, and in 1784 that is known as the Mangalore Treaty, when both the parties decided to restore each other's conquered territories and set the prisoners free. Both the parties, means Tipu Sultan as well as the British, they restore each other's conquered territory and also set the prisoners free. Third Anglo Mysore War. Third Anglo Mysore War 1789 to 92. Tipu Sultan allied with the French and invaded the nearby state of Travancore in 1789. Tipu Sultan make an alliance, a friendship with the French and attacked the Travancore in 1789, which was a British ally. Travancore, the king of Travancore, was the ally of British. The British were already looking for an excuse to cross Tipu's power. The British always wanted an excuse or looking for an excuse to cross the Tipu Sultan's power. Hence a war started between the two. Between the two means the British and the Tipu Sultan, resulting in the defeat of Mysore, resulting the defeat of Tipu Sultan. The war ended after the siege of Srirangapatnam in 1792. The war ended after the siege of Srirangapatnam in 1792. In 1792, the war ended and Srirangapatnam was also captured or conquered by the British. Tipu was forced to sign the Treaty of Srirangapatnam. Mysore had to hand over half of its territory to the British along with Tipu's two sons as war hostage. And in the Treaty of Srirangapatnam, Mysore had to hand over half of its territory, half of the area to British, and along with Tipu's two sons as war hostage. वार हॉस्टेज मीन्स बंधक बना के जो ले लेना. फोर्थ एंग्लो मैसूर वार. फोर्थ एंग्लो मैसूर वार 1799. When Lord Wellesley became the Governor General of India in 1798. In 1798, Lord Wellesley became the Governor General of India. Tipu Sultan's alliance with the French was seen as a threat to the East India Company. Tipu Sultan's friendship with French was seen as a danger to the East India Company, British East India Company. As a result, Mysore was attacked from all four sides. As a result, Mysore was attacked from all four sides. The Nizam of Hyderabad and the Marathas launched an invasion from the north, and the British attacked from south, east and west. Mysore was also attacked from the four sides. The Nizam of Hyderabad and the Marathas, they launched an invasion from the north side, and the British attacked from south, east and west. South, east and west. The British won a decisive victory at Srirangapatnam in 1799. In 1799, the British also won the decisive victory. Tipu was killed during the defense of the city. In this battle, in the Fourth Anglo Mysore War, Tipu Sultan was killed during the defense, during the protect of the city. Much of the remaining of Mysore territories was annexed by the British, the Nizam and the Marathas. Whatever the territories also remained after the Third Anglo Mysore War of Mysore War, then this territory also divided between the British, Nizam and the Marathas. The remaining core around Mysore and Srirangapatnam was restored to the Indian prince belonging to the Odia dynasty who ruled till 1947. The remaining core around Mysore and Srirangapatnam remained in the Indian prince of a Odia dynasty who ruled till 1947. Dear students, in this part we have discussed about these things, and the next part of the chapter we will discuss in the next class. Thank you. Have a good day.